Hi, this is Kulsum Pares, international makeup artist.
Hi, I'm Snehal Chaitanya, founder of Weedle, an online marketplace for parents making secondhand their first choice. So, Kulsum, please walk me through what is it that you do and how did you come about doing what you do?
So we are into this makeup industry from past 14 years, and we run a academy as well as we take care of many beautiful women from all ages. We make them look beautiful and give them the confidence.
Right. Yeah.
So we take care of destination brides, destination bridal all over the world. We travel to different parts of the world for the weddings, and we also take care of celebrities and wherever it's required.
So, has this been your first venture or?
No, I come from an aviation background, and first started my career as an air hostess. Then it took me a long way where I used to train air hostess, and grooming was a part of me. And later I went into airport where I used to take care of Z plus category. And after my 9 years of services in aviation, I stepped into this and 14 years into it.
Right. So, our journeys are fairly similar, I would say, in the sense that we started with something else and then moved into
How did you go
that
about?
has been our passion kind of thing. So I started as an engineer, typical software engineer journey. I come from a investment banking technology background. Spent about 18 years working in the UK, Australia, and then in India with banks.
Okay.
And it was after COVID that, as a mom, I started discovering the kind of eco-conscious habits that our kids are not growing with.
Okay.
And that is how Weedle was born, thinking that let's make online marketplaces easier for parents to choose secondhand. Buying and selling secondhand products for children, which they quickly outgrow, stuff like cots, cradles, strollers, car seats, high chairs. They have a limited usability. After the kid has outgrown it, parents have no plan of what to do with it.
Right.
It is just cluttering your houses, losing value, and at some point we just chuck it out. On the other hand, when we buy new things, the buying and selling is very easy. It's just a few clicks, somebody's delivering it at your doorstep.
Right.
So the journey for Weedle is, why don't we leverage this e-commerce tech but encourage parents to buy secondhand in the same way that they buy new stuff. So that's how Weedle came about.
Nice. And how old is this company?
So Weedle is about 3 years old. It's an online only platform, and it is basically by parents for parents. So we only list genuine products by genuine parents, unlike other classifieds where anything and everything is listed, and then we run into issues like financial frauds, not having authentic products. And we wanted to just make it easier for parents to make choices based on trust, because when it comes to children, parents are very particular about what they want to pay. Yeah.
Nice. Interesting.
So how did your visual storytelling journey started? I mean, you are a very popular influencer, and how did that journey begin?
So it's nice to be. I started from the time where where I had not heard that there's a profession for makeup. So I come from those times where makeup artist was not really popular in Bangalore, or you hardly would see or hear about makeup artists only in Mumbai, where there's film industry. When I got aware that there's a profession for makeup, I thought of quitting my work, which I was in working in airport. I was like, this is something which I really want to do and I want to take it up. And when I was exploring it and when I came across people, they were like, what is makeup industry? You just have to put liner, ye to koi bhi laga sakta hai. Like, this is not what you need to do. Why are you leaving this job and going? I'm like, no, I would show, people where I think is really required in this day and age where people are just evolving towards more towards makeup and digitally. Like, we are in a selfie era where people want to look good and there's a lot of filters, but there's no guidance, there's no direction for anybody. And I'm coming from that era where there were there weren't any products much available, like only Lakme or Maybelline or L'Oreal or Shimmer. Apart from that, there wasn't much of
Right.
availability in the
How do you
market.
leverage Instagram as a platform to reach out to
That
people?
made me grow very fast. because when I started, there was Facebook, and then comes the Instagram, and that really helped me in growing up. Where the visibility is higher, you could reach to a lot of your audience, and people could reach out to me. That was really helpful. So, and Instagram really helps you in showing up your work, your signature work, your style, and even explore what is there internationally.
How difficult or easy was it for you to put yourself in front of the camera and talk to an audience who is, a digital audience and not there?
Well, digitally is still very difficult for me. I can face like a large audience, but yeah, we do take like web seminars where we teach online, and this came from COVID times where we started teaching people digitally. There's logins and Zoom calls, and so that is a very um, platform where
So
technology has really helped us. Yes, yeah.
What you've done, which is very similar to Viril, I would say. Because what we observed was the way parents were buying and selling secondhand earlier. Uh, it was like, through Google groups, or they will go to classifieds, and then you take that transaction offline, that kisi nukkad pe aake milu, and then I'll hand you over the product, and then there's a cash transaction. So the ease or the convenience that e-commerce marketplaces like Amazon or other new ones were offering, we thought we can leverage the exactly same thing: secure payments, last mile logistics, inventory management. All of these things were working for new products. Why can't we use the same thing for selling second-hand products, where doorstep pickup and delivery is available? Parents feel comfortable doing online payment transactions, and they can also browse through the whole selection of various products available, right from mom to be two, as the baby grows, like a newborn, then a toddler, maybe sports equipment, toys, books, hobby equipments, nursery furniture. All of this, if they can get on a single platform and shop from the convenience of their home, having that trust that if I'm buying secondhand from Viril, it is definitely vetted out, and I don't need to worry about how the quality is going to be and how the product is going.
An amazing platform. What
Technology has been like very helpful in, I think, in both these cases where
I can totally connect to what you're saying, because when there were times where I used to look forward for it, like if anybody has it in a good condition, which you don't mind it, I used to hardly find it so difficult to get it.
Right.
It's a really good platform you have created for people now.
Yeah, you mentioned that starting in an industry like this, there was some resistance. People questioned your choices. Why keep makeup? Being a women entrepreneur, how have you had higher barriers or more difficult situations than maybe somebody?
Because this was not a very stereotype of work. We had to come out of your 9 to 5 job, or say 9 hours work, and starting something on your own and being an entrepreneur. I had to face quite a lot of difficulties, and this was more on a trust factor where anybody would approach, because this was more of services, and we started like a freelancing, because those days we never came across a place called a makeup studio, which you find everywhere these days. Um, so I come from that era where people had to approach you directly.
Right.
Okay, so I had to create awareness in people that we extend this kind of services to you, and you can trust us on your special day or your special moments. And those, I'm talking about like 14 years back,
Yeah.
where makeup was not essential. It was not your daily thing. But now, seeing how makeup has evolved so many years, like makeup is essential now. Without a makeup artist, there's no wedding. Without a makeup, there is no
Special
actor
occasions,
on
yeah.
board.
It's very funny. I mean, if you see, women have cooked all their lives, but
Yeah.
when you look at chefs, they are predominantly men. Same thing with, I would say, the industry, makeup industry. That when it comes to beauty parlors or getting beauty services, you always see women. But then when it becomes like a high profile profession, it is more men that you see in
That was another challenge which I was facing, where
Happy to-
people used to think that I come from a beauty parlor industry, whereas beauty parlor was a completely a different services, and makeup artist is a completely a professional services which you have to extend. So we had to literally make people aware and give knowledge that it's two different things, where it's makeup is more for your confidence, more for your aesthetics and presentable.
So, when it comes to starting your own business, I have seen that things are a lot easier. I for men, tip traditionally. I mean, it is not like in the last few years the way launching a startup or getting into starting your own business has become a lot easier for everybody. I mean, a lot of things are now online, be
Online.
registering your company or getting your creatives done or anything related to starting a startup.
Yeah.
But traditionally, we have seen very few women entering business field and
Right.
being a predominantly area where men have been more, I would say, active in that area. So, did you face any obvious biases? Because I can see that when we worked in Beadle, it was like we work with second-hand ecosystem, and
Right.
it is a very unorganized, non-traditional industry. Uh, be it in terms of policy or infrastructure, taxation, none of it is really clearly spelled out, and it is a very evolving space. Sustainability is not a traditional industry like say manufacturing or food production or stuff like that. So we had like two kind of challenges. One is that you are entering into a industry which is not organized, and you're a women entrepreneur trying to talk about sustainability, trying to get more followership, I would say, from parents, trying to change their mindsets. So there has been a challenge in both ways, but how do you see your journey there? Is it rewarding? Do you think it is worth tackling all these challenges?
Definitely, it was worth it. Initially, yeah, mine was much better accepted because um, I would see the love for makeup in most of the women, but it's just that they're not aware and they didn't know how to go ahead with it. So I used to have a lot of challenges in getting people convinced or, getting on board. But I don't think so. It was very hard because now I myself was a very stylish person that really helped me where people they could trust and relate, resonate with me that I could give a better services and the aura I carry, they would feel very comfortable in their special events.
So you started your journey in when things were not so easy. Today, if a young woman or a lady wants to enter this industry, what is it that you would advise
It
her
would
or what
be
do you tell her?
in many years, I think now this industry has become very competitive. You need to have a talent and creativity to get into it. You need to have a vision to get into creative. If it is just like if a woman is thinking of having an extra bucks, um, I would say that it would not really work out well,
Right.
because this is a very creative field. You need to be creative for it. And then, yes, a networking will take you a long way after uh, becoming an artist.
No, I'm glad you brought up networking because
Yeah.
that is one thing that again I'm comparing men in industry and women in industry. We are really good at networking, but we don't really network as often or as I would say as much as is required. And nowadays, your network is kind of your net worth, and especially coming into the business world, network really pulls a lot of strings for you.
Right.
So that is one skill I think, and you will agree that that is something that everybody needs to uh, conquer to be able to thrive in the entrepreneurship journey.
I totally agree.
Yeah. I would like to cover one small thing in terms of sustainability because that is the core of what Weedle does. A lot of sustainable habits, if you go back a few generations, our parents had habits which were kinder to the planet, be it in terms of how we conserve resources,
Right.
reusables, a lot of things. Plastic came very recently, I would say.
Yeah.
But plastic was not so omnipresent with our parents' generation. Same thing in terms of habits like passing down. I mean, I have grown up with having hand-me-downs from my cousins or elder siblings.
Especially books.
Yeah, books or even school bags and cycles,
Uniform.
even clothes itself. It is,
Yeah.
really good quality clothes that are not worn too much. And then nobody thought of throwing as the first thing. They always wanted to find another
Little bit
person
to my
who
childhood.
use it. Yeah. So what we are trying to do is, when it comes to sustainability, it is not a fad or a trend.
Right.
It is a lifestyle choice which has to stick. It has to be a conscious decision by everybody, saying that we are doing sustainability because it is going to be better as a lifestyle. It is going to help our children, and it is kinder to the planet. And I think when it comes to taking lifestyle decisions, women play a great role
Exactly.
within the family. Right from what kind of food we should eat, what stuff do we buy. So it is, I think it is a appeal to parents, especially moms, that, if you choose to make lifestyle decisions which are healthier for your family and the planet, then things will fall in place for pretty much everybody.
So, Snehal, what is like a future trends or, in business stability which you're looking forward
So,
for?
technology is at the core of everything that anybody is doing these days, or most of the businesses. AI has become the buzzword. It is a agent that will definitely help us into, fine tuning what we are already doing. And I think that is the technology, one bit of technology that we are looking forward to leverage for our platform, in terms of gathering insights from customers, or making recommendations for the right products at the right time, and also maybe calculating carbon footprints or making it more appealing for parents in some way. So AI is one technology that we think will be the future trend for Weedle as well.
So, Snehal, how did this help you out with the Instagram and the platform, digital platform for you?
So because I was entering into sustainability, actually we didn't start out as, we are running a sustainable startup. We started a platform where parents can buy and sell second-hand products with trust and confidence. But because of what we are doing, the byproduct is sustainability, because people are reusing products, they are buying less, they are throwing less. So that's how we kind of got into sustainability, by the virtue of what we do. And it is a example of circular economy, where you use something and then you pass it on to somebody else, and then they use it instead of buying. So the journey of sustainability was not really planned, but it was a very evident byproduct of what we do. And that is how we entered this field, I would say, not on purpose, but as an effect of what Weedle is trying to do.
Yes. And how do you see the vision of women empowerment in this?
One thing I would say is that today, women entrepreneurship has become a lot easier, and the ecosystem is growing a lot. I would say the collaborations or the interactions, partnerships, it is always collaboration or partnership over competition,
Right.
because that's how I think women are wired, that they take everybody along the journey, than trying to climb over each other and make it a very tough competition. So that way, I think entrepreneurship is one ecosystem where women can thrive very well by the kind of networks they are building, and by just helping each other out wherever.
I totally resonate with what you're saying because we as artists, when we do bridal makeup, we also train and teach the aspiring makeup artists. Like we help them in learning new trends, make them understand how they they don't have to lose many years by trial and error. So we guide them, we help them in setting up their business and getting successful um, background of makeup. Um, so we are there for our. They're just like our children.
So the kind of help that we didn't have when we started our journey,
Yeah.
I think now it is very much easier to give that kind of help, because we know what are the challenges,
Right.
and then helping other women grow in similar industries.
And seeing them rise in the same industry is something where we can rise together.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
As we come to the conclusion of this discussion, there is one thing I would like to say to, I think, everybody, all the women who are in this field, or who are making a difference, that the theme for this International Women's Day is accelerate action. It is time to accelerate our efforts, which women have already put in a lot of, and just move on to the next goal, and keep doing what we do and we are good at.